Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have for you a small collection and this is called the Twinkling Traditions. It comes with a 12 by 12 paper pad. It also comes with an A5 die set. There is also foiled adhesive sheets which I haven't got to hand at the moment, but it's basically baubles. You've got some fern, you've got this bauble as well, in different kind of like you've got a plaid design, you've got what was the other one, like a stripy bauble, but I haven't got that to hand at the moment, so I'm just going to show you these two, the die set and the papers quickly. Now the papers I have chopped into some of mine because I needed to do samples for TV, but I'm going to quickly go through them with you. So very traditional colours, as it says, Twinkling Traditions. You get 18 sheets in total, including these tags. Gorgeous illustrations. You've got the deer there, you've got a stag, poinsettia, holly, you've got a stocking, you've got berries, you've even got a robin. Again, these are just adorable. Polka dot, plaid, gingham, so lots of different designs. You've got the festive home, you've got the Christmas trees, so, and then you've got the baubles as well. So there's a couple there. So that's your first sheet. The second sheet I have actually chopped into, so I used it for a couple of projects. So you do get 2 sheets of this as well. And on the other side you've got this gorgeous, like the holly and the baubles, and you can cut them in strips. I'm using this for a project today. You get this gorgeous piece here. You've got hollies, baubles, you've got the stag, this massive poinsettia in the corner. These are amazing for scrapbooking. And then on the other side you've got your strips of holly and berries. This one I've chopped into, but you've got Christmas presents and your bells and your baubles. Or you've also got candy canes, but again, really rich traditional colours. On the other side, you've got the polka dot. This is more like a maroon, and Tonic do have a 216 GSM maroon, which I'm using for one of my projects. Again, this is another gorgeous one, absolutely stunning poinsettias with all your fern and your berries and your hollies. And then on the other side, you've got your gingham. This is your festive homes and your truck, and again, really traditional illustration on this side. And then on the other side, you've got that plaid in that maroon and white. This one, you've got robins, obviously classic for Christmas, but apparently you get robins all year round. It's not just for Christmas. So again, really traditional. And on the flip side, you've got the cardinal, which is more the American Christmas bird, if you like. So again, really nice illustration. This one, you've got the hanging star, bell and bauble, and you've got a couple of tags as well. But again, look at the amazing illustration, gorgeous. And then this is your perfect, like if you're trying to take a photo of something, it'd be perfect just to put it in the middle. You've got your fern and your berries and things, so again, gorgeous. Then you've got your stags, again, absolutely gorgeous. You can't have Christmas papers without the stags, so absolutely gorgeous. And then on the other side you've got your stars, and then we're back to the same papers again. So I'm just going to quickly show you, oh, I haven't shown you that one. I think you've seen all the others. And then this one here, you've got all your poinsettias, the larger gingham pattern, and then on the other side you've got the Christmas trees. Again, really traditional. Okay, so that's the papers. I'm just going to quickly bring in the die set. Now, the dies, you've got this large bauble here with all this filigree design as a verso panel. You've got this bauble here. Again, you've got that twirly pattern with your stripes. You've got your bow, you've got the tails, you've got the cap for the bauble. You can either have a ribbon or you can have a chain for your bauble. You've got your berries. You've got this huge die here, which is holly leaves. You've got your fern. You've got your poinsettia. You've got the word Merry Christmas. And again, you can have two different patterns. And these are verso panels. So you can either have the plaid or the polka dot. And you've got the ribbon tails to match that. You've got the center for your poinsettia. You can either have that one there or you can have this piece here that goes there. Let me just show you that piece actually. I did cut it out. So you've got that piece there. You've got tiny little stars and you've got a tiny ribbon here as well. You've got a couple of circle patterns here, and then you've got, I believe this says Merry Christmas, I think that says, a tiny little tag here. So absolutely gorgeous set, and you've got a couple of smaller, I think these are either center for the poinsettia or they're tiny little, I think they're tiny little flowers really. So a great set again. So I'm not going to waste too much time because I'm doing a couple of projects today. Again, as always, I've cut all my pieces out. And what we're going to do is use a, we're going to use a 7x7 card. I've cut all my mats and layers out. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick these down. So I'm using Nuvo Deluxe. Hopefully the glue will come out. If you hear a noise in the background, I do have a fan on because it's extremely hot this weekend. I've got up early because I plan to go to London today. Well, I say I plan to go to London, hopefully, because I believe it's going to be about, I believe it's going to be about 31 degrees today in London, or is it 30, maybe 32 degrees actually. Okay, so just going to place that on to my card. I'm using a 7x7 tonic card, and this is Flourishing Green Satin card by Tonic Studios. And I've just literally trimmed this to 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then I've cut another piece of white card, and this one measures 6.5 by 6.5. So again, layer this up. Okay, so I've cut out lots of bits and pieces, and I think what I need to do is bring in my poinsettia. That's the first thing that I need to sort of put together. I'm just going to curve my poinsettia petals, like so. I'm going to do that to both of them. I'm using chili red, I'm using flourishing green, I'm using a bit of harvest gold, and I'm using some gold pearlescent card from my own stash, and I think that's about it. So I'm just going to apply some glue. I'm layering my poinsettia up just to add a bit of dimension to it. So let's layer this up. There we go. And then I've got these center pieces here, which again, I'm going to layer these up. So I've got two. You could add, if you've got sequins, or if you've got any type of halfback bead, I guess you could put in the middle. So I'm going to have two poinsettias like this, but before I stick my poinsettias down, I'm going to add some fern, which I've cut out in flourishing green. So these are going to go in the corner. I'm not going to stick it all the way down. I'm just going to do it so I can add some dimension. I'm also going to stick this down. It's going to take a minute to stick because I'm adding it on top of mirror card, so it's just going to take a minute. I'm going to do exactly the same thing in this corner here. So that's my two corners. I'm just going to also add in some berries that I've cut out. So got that, and then that one, and that one. Bear with, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm using. And then we've got this as well. Okay, so I'm using some berries. So I'm gonna kind of poke some berries in on there. That's not stuck down at all. So I'm just sticking down some berries. I think I'm gonna also stick some gold pieces in just to add, so I can add some glitz. Do the same on this side. There we go. Starting to take shape nicely. Okay, we'll use that for another. So we're going to make up the bow. So all I'm going to do is I've used that verso panel with the plaid. I'm just going to layer this with that piece of gold pearlescent card that I've got, and I'm basically just layering it up, so I've got a nice background to my chili red. So I'm just going to apply glue to this middle section here. Give your bowl a bit of a curve with your finger as well. And then I'm going to join these two pieces up like so. I'm just going to hold that while it grabs. I think I also find when it's really warm, it might take a tad longer for the glue to grab. So just be patient with your glue. There we go. We do have this middle piece here, which is the ribbon. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue. And wrap that around my bow. Just going to wait for that to grab. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to bring in my chain here, and I'm going to try and stick this bang in the middle here, like so. Hopefully that's central. I'm then going to bring in my bauble. So that's going to sit roughly there, I think, like that. So I'm going to take my verso panel here. I'm just going to add dots of glue here and there. And I'm going to place this on my piece like so. I just wanted a pop of colour really, and I think this piece of pearlescent card, or paper should I say, definitely gives it that. So okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue all the way around. So I'm going to just stick that on there like that. And then I'm just going to add lots of fern. Starting here. Oh, I've got my cap as well. Let's not forget my cap. I've cut this out in Harvest Gold as well. There's a bit of glue on there. Okay, let's stick that on there like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply all my fern. So I might speed this bit up. Okay, I did cut out some of these pieces, but I don't know if I want to use them anymore. I am going to just stick a couple of berries down. Let's stick one there like that. Oh, we've got Lockie in the background. Dear me. Okay. Sticking on a few more berries. Like so. I am then going to stick on my ribbons for my bow. I'm going to have to hold that for a second. So I'm going to let that glue grab. And then I've got the word Merry Christmas, and I've stacked this 3 times using chili red. And I'm just applying dots of glue. And I'm just going to stick that over my bauble, like so. And that is my Christmas card all made. So that's gorgeous, gorgeous little, well, I say little, it's not really little. It's a 7x7 card. So yeah, that's just an idea on how you can use this set. So that's one card. Now, this next one is using the Hat Box die set. So I've used some of the papers and I've cut all my pieces out. But I'm just going to say, obviously, I have made this before. I do have a video on my channel. So we are going to make a hat box with a hat inside. So I'm just going to take all the pieces out. Like I said, I've already made my lid just to save on time because I knew I was doing 2 projects today. I've used patterned paper for my side panels for my lid, and I'll kind of explain how to get these on correctly, just so you've got it nice and even. Okay, so let me I'm going to make the hat last, I think. So let me put the hat pieces to one side. That's that and that. So for the hat box then, obviously, I'll link the video for my hat box in the description below. But you cut out 2 large circles from the hat box die set, and then you cut out 2 smaller circles. The 2 smaller circles make the base and the 2 large circles will make the lid. You cut these side panels out 4 times. You cut this piece out 4 times, and then you've got the decorative elements that you cut out 4 times, and you cut these decorative elements out 4 times to create that. You also need to cut out 12 of these pieces to make your blousey bow, and then you have to cut out 4 of these pieces and then 4 of your decoration pieces. You need to cut out 12 of these decoration pieces for your ribbon. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a glue because I don't want to take too much time making the hat box itself, but I just thought it'd be quite nice to do it as a hat box. You also need these panels here. You need 4 of these with the semicircle tabs. Now, because I'm using patterned paper, hopefully this should be a quick video, well, a quick make, should I say. Now I've attached my gold decorative panel on, and I'm just bringing those 2 triangle pieces together. I've applied a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to hold that for a second while that glue grabs. Now what you will notice on these triangle pieces is it's got 2 score lines. That the longer score line is for your large hexagon and the smaller score line is for your smaller hexagon. You need 2 of each hexagon. So let's put this together now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that needs to be the smaller. So you need 6 of each one to make your blousey bow. So I'm going to go ahead and do the large bow first. All I'm doing is applying glue to that triangle, and I'm going to attach it to this green card. Now the green card that I'm using for this make is fern green. I'm using Harvest Gold, and I'm using bright white 240 GSM and some patterned paper from that paper collection. Okay, so that's my first one on. And you're just basically going to go all the way around attaching these. Okay, so you're going to have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and apply glue to that second hexagon that I've cut out. I'm going to place that on the bottom here, just so I can seal all those tabs in. I'm then going to do exactly the same thing again now with the smaller hexagon. So again, I'm just repeating it. Obviously with that one, you're bending that second score line. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue. And just go ahead and attach those. And then I'm gonna, while that's doing its thing, I'm just gonna take this second hexagon, put lots of glue on, and then attach that to the base. And let the glue do its thing. So while that one's drying, I'm going to bring in these pieces here. And I'm going to, so make sure you fold all these semicircle tabs back and just go ahead and give them a really good burnish. Like so. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply glue. It's hard to see, but I'm going to apply glue to these tabs here. And I'm just going to attach all 4 panels together. Okay, so once you've attached all your panels together, by the way, these tabs here, you don't need to fold them because you want to be able to get a nice circle. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply glue to all these tabs here, and then I'm going to start gluing them together. Now usually I'd put my panels on one by one, but for speed I've decided to do it this way. Okay, so all I'm going to do is have my good side facing up. I'm going to start at one end. I'm going to make sure I I get that first tab secured, and then I'm just going to work my way around like so. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. Now, I am going to go ahead and put my, there we go. Yeah, perfect. So what I'm going to do is, based on this, so where that score line meets, I'm going to go ahead and attach my decorative panels. So what I mean about that is where one panel overlaps that tab and you glue on, you're going to place your decorative panel just over the top like that. That's the only way you can ensure that your lid and your base decorative panels meet nicely. So, okay, so hopefully now, just press that down. Okay, hopefully now when you put your lid on, everything should line up. Oh, maybe not that one. That one's slightly out. But it's okay. It's only just a tad out, so I'm not going to worry too much about that one. Okay, so now what I need to do is go ahead and apply this large circle. Not the large, actually, the small circle. I'm just going to take this off and I'm going to apply that circle on top to lock in all those tabs. Okay, and that's all secured in. So for my blousey bow then, yeah, they're fine actually. Okay, so my blousey bow, what I'm going to do, I should have cut another hexagon out really, but that's okay. I'm going to take the smaller one, I'm going to apply glue to the base of that smaller hexagon, and then I'm going to place that in the middle of that one there. And then I'm just going to hold that for a second because I want that glue to grab. Perfect. And then all I'm going to do is bring this in. And then just stick that down like so. I'm gonna let the glue do its thing. I'll let the glue do its thing while I move on to the hat. Okay, so for the hat, I have taken a circle that is just slightly smaller than the base circle, and I've basically placed it. Let me just show you what I mean. This is a different circle, but I've basically doubled up my paper, and I've just placed it just over like this, so that I could leave one side without a cut. So I've then scored it in the middle to create this easel type card. So for that then, I've then taken the same sized circle and I've cut that out in this polka dot paper that's in the collection. I've then taken, so the lens part of the Picture Perfect camera die set, I've taken the lens part from that and the circle that it comes with, and I've cut that circle into my my patterned paper, so I get this circle out of there, and then I also then obviously am able to create that lens part of the camera into my card. So all I'm going to do for that then is I've already burnished these tabs at the bottom to come towards me, and these ones are going to go in away from me like so. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue to this tab here. I'm not folding at that score line at all. I'm just going to bring this in. Oh. I'm going to attach that like so. So I should have something that looks like this. I'm going to then slip that in through that hole gently. So that's then going to give me my hat portion. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'll speed this bit up as well, and apply glue to all these tabs and then stick those all down. Okay, so once you've stuck all that down, bring in your circle here, and then you are going to go ahead and do exactly the same thing with these tabs. But with these ones, just make sure you take your glue right to the edge. Hopefully you've got this die set. Even if you haven't, you can cut a strip of card and create these tabs. So we want it to point like so. I'm going to just press all these down. Oh, so you should have something that looks like this. And then all I'm going to do is I've also cut another piece out. I haven't fully cut it out, but I've cut enough of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this behind that. So okay, and then all I am going to do is I've taken a strip of card, again in that polka dot, I've cut it out, and I'm just going to apply glue to add a band to my hat. So I'm going to start at this end here. And I'm just going to go all the way around. It doesn't matter if it overlaps slightly, I don't have an issue with that. There we go. Perfect. And then all I am going to do is attach this bow that I've already made. Because you've seen me make the other bow. Don't want to show you that again, so I'm just going to attach this bow just onto here. I might just need to hold that for a second. Could have added a bit of fern actually, couldn't I? Maybe I will. Just to break up the colour slightly and bring it in with the other colours. There we go. I'll just leave it like that. And then all I am going to do is attach this to the bottom piece here. So I'm just going to apply glue just below that score line. Pressing all that down, and then I've made a tiny little stopper, so I do need a bit of foam pad for that. So let me just grab some. Just cut a piece of foam pad, and I'm just going to double this up. And I've picked the sentiment from the hat box. So I'll have it as a stopper right there. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And then that will close, and that's your hat. So I apologize, this has ended up being such a long video. As always, I do appreciate all the love and support. Just gonna move all this rubbish out of the way. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. So let's put our hat that we've created. You can double it up, obviously add a base to it to double it up, but I've just done it for fun. I'm not giving this to anybody. So that is the hat box using the Twinkling Traditions, and it's a perfect fit. The box closes, and there we have a Twinkling Tradition hat and box. So thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support as always, and I would ask that you hit the notification bell for future videos. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I can't believe, like, I reached my goal of 1,000, and I think the last time I looked it was like 1,025 subscribers or something like that. So again, really exciting, because my channel is growing, and that's thanks to you all. I really appreciate all your love and support, and you know, I'm always going to carry on saying that. So thank you again so much. Right, so just to show you around, this is the gorgeous hat box using the Twinkling Traditions papers. I've created this hat, again using those pattern papers, and obviously I've used various dyes to make the hat, but I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Take care, guys.